Alright, since the last video was so interactive, I want to do it again actually. It was super fun to me. Look, I made this little PowerPoint slide and some comments are sliding up. And I want to go through a couple of the things that I've been encountering here. So the first comment reads, we also have to accept the fact that some people are just less intelligent than others and thus can't achieve the same result even with millions of hours because of their brain capacity or other. This is a very, very interesting point, and I've been thinking really hard on how to exactly approach this. The first thing I was researching was how IQ relates to Dota. And the first thing I encountered was, well, there's some studies that seem to show that playing MOBA games actually helps maintain planning abilities and strategizing abilities and things like this. I don't think there's real evidence to show that you could increase your IQ while playing Dota, but this was not exactly what I'm looking for. I was looking for a list of the top tier Dota players and then their IQ to see if there is a high correlation between a high rank in Dota 2 and a high IQ. But of course, I couldn't find anything like this, so I resorted to different games. I resorted to League of Legends, I didn't find anything, and then I resorted to chess because I thought, well, even though the games are not that similar, chess is at least one of the most studied games and most public games and, let's say, well, accepted games compared to many other games. So I looked at chess, and obviously, as we expect, the top tier chess players have a pretty high IQ. But then I found a lot of other studies that actually showed that the correlation between IQ and the performance in chess is not that great. The best predictor for being good at chess is actually playing chess. I mean, obviously, like my IQ can be as high as it wants to be if I've never touched a chessboard in my life and somebody has been playing for a couple of years and, well, didn't just quote-unquote practice, as I termed this word in the last one, in the sense of just wasting time over and over again. If somebody actually took his time to study things and to go deeper into the game, then of course he will outperform people with a high IQ. To my understanding, and this is going to be a very, very touchy topic because I'm not an expert in IQ, nor in any other fields of psychology, but as far as I understand IQ is the ability to solve problems quickly and to learn how to solve problems quickly. And obviously Dota is one huge game where problem solving plays a big role. In Dota 2, things are constantly changing and so many things are happening at once. It's infinitely complex and there's so many little details you have to be aware of. I think IQ definitely helps there, and I wouldn't be surprised if IQ correlates with the Dota 2 performance, but yet on the other hand, I'm not so convinced that our top 2 Dota pros are bastions of intelligence that could solve any problems in any given situation quickly and have a, let's say, high life expectancy and a high degree of job performance and all the other things that are usually highly correlated with IQ. So what I want to say is that even though I think IQ obviously plays a role, as it does in basically everything you do, it's not the sole predictor. And I would say that your ability to play Dota correctly doesn't really link too much with IQ, especially if you think, well, my IQ is low, therefore I will perform bad in Dota. This is a huge mistake. One study I want to reference for this is there was an experiment with people who had cancer, who had basically almost terminal cancer, and they went to undergo a treatment for cancer. And the people who thought that they could survive, even against the odds, had a far more likely a chance to actually survive. So just thinking that you're able to do something doesn't only set you up for the expectation to do well and to prepare you for the mood to do well, it actually changes your biology and it changes it in a way that makes it more likely to succeed. Of course, in this case, it was a cancer treatment, and I'm not sure if we can one-on-one translate this to gaming, but I would say that those things could be pretty tightly together. So I would say before you complain that your IQ is too low and therefore you're doomed to be really, really bad at something, I would say you need to fix your philosophy first, and your IQ will not increase, of course, in the time where you do it, but you will realize, I think, that IQ is not the main thing that's gonna determine where you end up in life. And I was just about to say main thing that determines whether you're successful or not. That word success, it's just, we need to define what success means really, really well before we tell people with a low IQ that they can't be successful. And that's a really individual and personal thing, but other discussion. The next thing I want to point out is that there's actually one dude, and I think he was about 3000 MMR. I'm gonna blend in a video for you. And this man, even though he's disabled from a body perspective, he plays Mirana and he shoots his arrows and he hits his arrows and he reaches 3000 MMR, which I found crazy. Look at the way he plays. Like, that's just unbelievable to me that this even works. And so if this guy can do it, if this guy can become better step by step and move forward on the ranked ladder in Dota, I think there is pretty much no excuse whatsoever. I really, really think, to summarize this, that philosophy is way, way, way more important than IQ, even though, of course, I cannot deny that somebody with an IQ of 160 would have a nice advantage in playing Dota. Maybe the last remark to this, I would actually be surprised if we do have a lot of super, super high IQ Dota players. Because if you have a high IQ, you would probably be looking for something else to do than to put 30,000 or 20,000 hours into Dota to become a professional. I mean, you can have it as a hobby, but I would be rather surprised if the top Dota 2 pros have a IQ over 130. I think, yeah, it would surprise me. Let's say that. To the next point. Here, perfection requires talent. I agree with this. In order to reach perfection, you do need talent. IQ alone, for example, doesn't work here because IQ predicts how fast you learn something, but not how well you execute something you learned. So it, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, as far as I know, IQ predicts how well you perform at something, but this is rather general. It's not exactly about how well you repeat a certain task that you've learned. And in Dota 2, many things are just repetitions, like the farming patterns, the ability to press spells, if you think of heroes like Invoker, or even just to jump in as a Legion commander and execute Blink, Blade Mail, BKB, Duel, or whatever. Those are a lot of things that don't really require that much IQ, but require some sort of grinding and nice execution. Now, this sort of execution is really, really necessary in order to reach perfection. Perfection, on the other hand, is something we don't really strive for in Dota. Like, we have it as a goal, like we have it as like a bright star that we aim towards, and then we think, cool, perfection is such a nice thing, we want to achieve it. But even if you look at the pros, they don't play perfect. And I think that's because it's almost impossible to play a perfect Dota 2 game, since any little thing can be a mistake, and if you have hours for one setting to think about, you will find that there would have been a better solution, that you could have done it more swiftly, quicker, more elegant, whatever. So even though we're aiming at perfection, I don't think we ever reach that perfection. And for us mere mortals, I think it's even more important to not think about reaching perfection and then being disappointed when we don't reach it. We should be looking at, okay, where am I right now? And where can I be tomorrow? Like, what can I do today to improve 1% over where I am right now? So in my mind, I'm not aiming at perfection in a, let's say, lived out sense. I'm looking at perfection and I'm seeing it somewhere there. Like, of course, it's really difficult to even spot that. Like, what is perfection exactly? Like, can you tell me what the perfect move would have been? Oftentimes, we just don't know. So we have something that is better, and we are aiming at that. And moving step by step towards that, and comparing us not to the faraway goal, but to who we were yesterday. Damn, English is difficult. Then I think we move forward, and then I think we have a great time at Dota. So in my mind, we don't have to reach perfection in order to get better. We don't even need to reach perfection in order to get rank 100. And to argue, we don't even need perfection to get rank 1. Like, we just need to be better than everybody else. But are we perfect? I'd say we're not. I would say rank 1 players still die bad deaths. Where you could say, well, it would be perfect if you wouldn't die and just kill everybody and blah, 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 blah. You get my gist. And then the last point, something a little bit more funny, but I thought I'd just throw it in here. Your 10 IQ brain failed to realize average Dota player has around 5 accounts. Besides that, many people simply do not care about MMR. They have become perfect in their own way of playing. So this was a fun one to me. Let's go to the last part first. So people who do not grind MMR and who do not care about MMR, they have become perfect in their own way of playing. Well, it depends on how you formulate perfect. I mean, sure, you can have fun in Dota and you can play solely for the excitement of playing and tilting other people and grieving and having fun and messing around and not really caring about MMR. This is perfectly valid and I'm not against this at all. I'm just saying this is not my type of playstyle. And I think even though people that say they just want to have fun at Dota, they try to take last hits. Like, they try to do the good things. Maybe they just put less emphasis on it. So I would say they are still trying to become better, even though they are not, let's say, married to the idea of improving per se, but they're still trying to be better. And yeah, so I would say they're not perfect in that sense, because they are not the best version that they could be. And it's also not a perfect state to have fun. Like, or it depends on how you define it. That's it. And then the 10 IQ, that's pretty low. Like, give me 70 at least. I haven't done an IQ test, but I mean, I can talk. It shouldn't be that low. And then the last thing, yeah, I realized that average Dota players have around 5 accounts. But the fun thing is, the video he's commenting under, I complained that people have 30,000 hours in Dota and keep queuing on and without improvement. And now you're just saying, well, they even have more accounts. So basically, you're just, you're proving my point. Thanks for that. All right, I've been rambling a lot about, and I'm looking forward to your comments, looking forward to discuss more and get some criticism. Let me know your thoughts on IQ, man. That's going to be an interesting discussion. Let me especially know, let me know if you found any studies relating IQ and Dota. That would be super, super interesting. I couldn't find any. Well, with that, enjoy the week.